guys, welcome back. This is fire lighting part 3. Yeah, that'll be right. Okay, so different types that we've looked at. We've looked at the parabolic, and we looked at using the old headlight as well. Got both of them to work. Of course, we used the charred cloth for this. You can try other materials if you want to. Using this just for speed, let you see the process. We've used, for spark based, we've used one of the modern type ferro rods. Okay, different types there. Again, Light My Fire is the one we use. Just shout out for that because it's very good. We've used that flint, we used the flint and steel. Okay, the old timer type for making sparks too. We've used it. Birch bark we've used with the ferro rod scraped up. What else? Oh yes, we've used the, where is it? Flint plus marcasite. Okay, we used it. Hard, very difficult way of getting fires going. Some sparks there, but again, getting them to bounce off and go in the right place is difficult. As you saw, it took us quite a while to get that one going, but eventually we did. And for it, we used the chaga, okay, the tree tinder fungus. So a couple more methods we're going to look at. Now, of course, one we didn't look at, but the sun's now gone, is using the old magnifying glass. Yep. Which can be used, again, positioning that light from the sun, flagging it down onto it, using those the parabolics of the lenses themselves to concentrate the energy of the sun into one place. So that's solar fire lighting. Spark based, we've looked at solar fire lighting. Now we're going to look at, I suppose it would be electrical fire. Okay, which I suppose we nearly term it into chemical, because it's chemicals that make a battery, and that's what we're going to use. A battery. Okay. Just a standard, I refer to it as a calculator battery in old money. I know calculators don't have batteries that size, and nowadays probably not. They probably run on something else, but rechargeable or whatever. With that, we're going to use wire wool, and in through the wire wool, I'm going to mix up some bits of birch bark. Now, people use things like cotton wool and stuff like this. I like to try and, alright, wire wool is not natural, but I'm trying to still work with something else which is quite natural, which is the birch bark itself. I could put cattail in through it, greater reed mace, the seed heads of it. I could use lots and lots and lots of roseberry willow herb seed heads in it as well, if it's the right time of the year. At this point of the year, springtime, summer, coming out of summer, we're not going to have lots of seed heads unless you've got a secret spot where they're still there. But anyway, whatever you mix in through it, you want it to be buffy, you want it to be downy. Now, you could do feather sticks. I will do a program on feather sticks and how to the do's and don'ts, and give you a few more tips with it. But whatever you put in here, it needs to be intermingled among the wire wool. That's where you want it to be, okay, to give you the best chance of getting a fire going. Yes, you could flash this and use the wire wool and put it into something, but one thing to remember is when I flash this, it's going to get really hot. I really probably don't want to be holding on to it for too long, and I'd like to try and get some form of flame out of it that obviously I'm going to be adding straight to something else, okay, or to my fire. Okay, at this point I really just want, I'm going to light this up. Now this can flash very quickly, so I'm going to put my wee bucket up beside me here, and we'll take it from here. So make sure this is reasonably spaced out, as in a few air flaps. Don't have it really bundled up together, because it may burn on the outside and just go molten in the middle. Alright. So I'm going to this in a way. So once we touch this on, this is going to go, there we go, and it starts to go, there we go, straight into flame. That's how fast it is, but it's incredibly hot because we're burning metal there. And again, don't breathe in the fumes of it if you can't. There, a wee bucket, even on top of the water there, it's still going because it's molten metal we're looking at. So that's the battery and the wire wool. Very, very quick method of getting a fire going. Absolutely brilliant, fantastic. Last method we're going to look at is chemical fire lighting, is adding two different materials together. One of them is readily available and the other isn't. I'm going to mix them together, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. If you want to find out how to go about this method or what it actually is, come on one of our courses and we'll tell you, but I'm not going to start to spread this all over the internet. There are sites out there that's got it in it. So it's 2 chemicals I'm going to add together. Now these you can find these makeup in different things, but it can be difficult to get it to actually go. Alright, it can take a minute or two. So let's have a go, let's stick her together and see how it goes from there. I'm just going to plan this out, right? So I've just grabbed a big lump. In fact, you know what, I might not use newspaper, I might just use a big lump of something else that I might have lying about here. Here's a piece of birch bark. Might go for this. We just use a big scrumpled up bit of paper, but I'm just going to make a small pocket of my birch bark. This one can be quite hit and miss. Not setting myself up to fail or anything like that there, but just letting you know, can be quite hit and miss. So, secret ingredients. Oh dear, a bit too much of that. A bit too much of that secret ingredient. You know what, I might actually mix this up and then throw it into the birch bark, into the paper itself, because this goes off with a bang. Could be. So squishing it up like this. Just squishing it up. Probably want something to the top of it. Okay. Sounds good. Right, and let's see what happens. Trusty bowl at the ready. So there's a chemical reaction should hopefully be starting to take place in here. Now this could either burst into flames or it's going to smoulder a lot, might smoke a bit, but whatever happens, it's hopefully going to produce heat. You bored yet? Oh. Woo! Lots of smoke. Again, don't breathe that in. So lots of smoke, that probably tells me is that paper was maybe a bit damp. You know, it's done everything else in it. Yeah, but it's the heat we're looking, because we want the heat to create the fire, and I can see something glowing. So if I put a bit of oxygen in there, whoa, and we're in flames. Okay. And that's it. That's all we're really trying to get that thing to do. Is that mixture of chemicals is to create a bit of heat. They're not explosive in any way. They don't work that way. It's just 2 particular chemicals that when you mix them together, this works. Actually, one of the chemicals is in some of your Sensodyne toothpaste as well. Alright. Yeah. One of the other chemicals is used in purification of first aid. Again, I'm not going to tell you what it is because in case you're running about looking for the stuff. But it works very well, and that's what we call our chemical fire line. No fire, wonderful thing. But as I said at the very start, always respect this stuff, because it definitely can cause us serious problems out in the wilds. After all, you know, this is my home. Out there it belongs to a lot of other creatures, and I don't want to get out and destroying and ruining their area. So first things first is, number 1, a big fire. It's not about making it, it's about respecting it. Number 2, sustainability of where you're building a fire. Well, do you need a fire? If I don't need a fire, I'm out for the day. I don't need to light a fire. You know, I see a lot of people going out these days. There's no harm in it. They go out for the day, they light a blazing fire, and they end up with a lot of unburnt wood kicked about the place. We try to reduce this as much as possible. So you want to be thinking about, as probably stated in one of the other videos, you want to be thinking about how long is it going to take me to clear this up. Should I put any more wood in the fire? Probably not. Definitely right for a while. Other things too to remember is, am I got permission to light the fire in this area? If not, if it doesn't belong to you, if you're in an area where you shouldn't actually be, or you're in an area which is public ground with no permission to light fire, you shouldn't be doing it. Number one, cutting down trees or breaking branches are criminal damage, so you need to be careful about these things as well. It's not to spoil any fun, it's just the control of the area itself. And as bushcrafters, wilderness living guides, outdoors people, we need to be trying to respect our environment as much as we possibly can. And that also means clearing up behind us. Not just our rubbish, but everybody else's. It's unfortunate, but my kids leave their dishes lying at their backside. I clear them up. Sometimes I do the same and they clear it up. So it's a bit of a mutual respect there. If you help the outdoors, it'll always give back to you. Right, so I'm going to clear this into my cooking pot. Okay, and I'm going to clear this up. Oh, it's away again. It's still burning. Yeah, sometimes it burns when we don't want it to. Anyway, guys, so that is solar fire, spark-based fire, chemical fire, electrical fire, and the last one is friction fire. It takes a long time. So the next video I'm going to shoot is going to be on friction fire. I'd probably not do it in the next couple of days because I'd rather be doing it over there, maybe on the grass, rather than sitting underneath my carport. But if needs must, and we're going to have a few wet days, after all, I'm not going to go outside and start lighting fires in the rain because it's silly, it doesn't work. Yeah. But what we'll do is I'll get bits and pieces prepared for you, and we'll go through some bow drill. Incidentally, anybody out there that fancies to go bow drill themselves, myself and Andy, the other half of NI Survival, we wrote an ebook. It's online on Amazon. I think it costs about £1 or £2, something like this here. But we went through lots and lots of different things, lots of photographs in it, you know, and lots of explanations. Really, it's a guide to bow drill. You know, if you fancy going and getting it, I think there's a free read on there. If you're an Amazon member, I think it's free to you to read. If you aren't, it's $1.99. Jump on, have a look. If you like it, buy it. If you don't, no bother. We're not putting it on to make a lot of money. Had to make something out of it. Anyway, right guys, that's me. Hope you enjoyed these videos anyway. Well, next one we're going to look at, as I say, is going to be friction fire. But before that, I'm going to be shooting a couple of videos, and I'll put them up on NI Survival, but they're more inclined for Wild Walk Bushcraft, okay, which is our other Facebook site, more for the younger bushcrafter out there. I'm going to put up, I'm going to be making a hand sling, okay, that's not a slingshot is what I call it, but it's not a catapult, it's the old David and Goliath type slingshot. And I'm also be looking at making a small takedown bow, okay, quite simple, play in the garden type bow, very limited poundage on it, so it's not going to do a lot of damage as you're shooting pointed darts at each other, this type of thing. But it will be a bit of fun for people to get involved with. You might have the things lying about, might be able to pick them, should be able to pick them up in the like of, I think some of the garden centres if they're open, or some of those shops and stuff that actually sell a few garden supplies, or you might have the things lying about the house. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do anyway. That's us guys, so thanks very much. Have a good night for the rest of it anyway, and stay bushcrafting.